Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zach. Today I'm going to be talking about Ideanomics once again, IDEX. I had a few requests for it this week, and I thought, hey, today might be a good time to give an update. Especially since my polls have been overrun by IDEX and I have no other choice. I'm going to briefly go through technical analysis and then anything that came out new after my last DD. So you'll find my last DD in the description below to watch it after this one. Now I'm gonna go technical analysis just for the perspective of psychology or the trader psychology, which gives us an insight of how fast or how far the price action is gonna go. But once again, news always runs over technical analysis. Let's jump right into it. Now on a 1 week perspective, what we get to see is a strong MACD slip. William %R is highly overbought today. Momentum is really strong, and an ADX doesn't tell us much. Wrap off the ADX, but the moving averages here are amazing. You get to see the 10 SMA is crossing the 30 EMA, creating a really nice bullish cross. What we get to see here on a 1 day perspective is that the moving averages have crossed, coming in really bullish, and that's really amazing news for us. ADX here shows a very strong trend. MACD crossed really nicely. William %R is overbought, and that's a little bit of an issue, but we'll ignore it for now. And momentum here looks really strong. So overall, 1 day perspective looks amazing. Glad to see it at this level. I did mention before, above $2, above $2.50. You want to start taking a little bit off securing profits above $3 mainly. And right now we're looking at $2.92, so this is kind of the level that you want to secure a little bit of profits here. The main reason is that, there's a lot of price targets that are all along the way. First one is $3, and then I think the second one is $5. And so these price targets really have nothing based on book values. It's merely just on intrinsic value from traders. So you want to be able to cash out when you can before others do, because once they do, short sellers are going to jump on and going to bring the price down. So if you want, what you can do is start cashing out right now. I'll tell you a bit more about the strategy a little bit at the end. So let's jump right into the moving averages. But before we do so, 2 hours looks really bullish. ADX was in a very strong trend with the potential of a pullback. Now the moving average bands, it has no significance at this point, but 117 on the top, 106 in the middle, and 96 at the bottom. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow, what we get to actually recovering really nicely. It shows that it has another leg up, and it shows it has strength. Now Fibonacci retracements, supports and resistances. 257 is the current support, 319 current resistance, 398. And then another support below the 257 is the 214 and 170. Now, significant supports and resistances, what we get to see here, we're going to start mapping it out. So I believe from what I saw, 292. So your significant support would be 290. Below there, you're looking down at 280. Below there, you're looking at 263. 263 to 254, 254 to 231, 231 to 220. And then we're going down all the way to 206. Below there, that's where things get a little bit dangerous. 197, 186, and then 167. Hopefully you don't get to see that price actions, but it is possible, so that's something you got to think about. Moving on, what we get to see here is this is their website. I went on towards SEC filings. There is a little bit of few things here and there from the last one here. Let's refresh it just in case, they just sent something out. Nope, nothing in new. One of the latest news here is Optimus Holdings Corp, and they're acquiring 100% of the outstanding capital stock Optimus for approximately $40 million, subject to customary purchase price, etc., etc. And so they're adding one more onto their bracket, as I did kind of explain before. Treat IDEX not as an EV, but as a holding off a diverse portfolio. That's technically what it is. Another thing here is basically a standby equity distribution agreement, and that's how they're raising capital. So 150 million here, around 5.6 million shares here. They're all the same thing, 30.867 million shares. They're all part of the $150 million share outstanding for the SED. It doesn't affect you because it's below the VWAP, as you get to see, and it's going to be at 90% off the market price. So yes, it's going to be cheaper. They're going to get cheaper, but they're getting it below the VWAP line. So in a sense, it's a little bit different than a public offering. It's similar to a bit of a private offering, but it looks like the market is not affected and not bothered by it. Raymond Capital cashed out. Nothing significant new today. Not even cashing outs, which is positive nonetheless. At least that's what this one shows. But it shows in a lot of people were, or a lot of institutional buyers were scared about this one. And, you know, if they held till today, they would have got around 100%. So there you go. They're lost. Insider buyers, nothing significant there. And what we get to see in terms of their company information, there's no newsletter yet for November. And it's expected to come in the next week. Every month, they bring us a newsletter, which I find really nice to kind of get a perspective on. And from that newsletter, basically it outlines any business highlights. Month to month, they have different ones. Now, for instance, this one was November 9th earnings. Sometimes they have a lot more information, but they're definitely worth one checking. November 17th was the last PR that was released, and it was focused on EV sector and fintech solutions. Ideanomics identified opportunities, and they're basically trying to give a nudge that, hey, you know, we exist and we are focused on EV and fintech. And that's the thing that I want to mention. It's fintech and EV. Don't just get labeled as an EV. You're limiting it. And you need to really consider how they operate, whether they're MEG or they're all different operations. You find that in my previous video. But if you only limit it to EV, you know, you might not see the full image. Now, I already went through all this information and whatnot, so let's go back to the price action and kind of explain a little what I think about this one. So, am I still bullish on this one? Here's the thing, it's been ups and downs for me, and I will not take a bull or a bear stand at this price point. And what I'm going to say is one thing that I always abide off with rules, and it worked well for me. When you have been, if you've been back holding for a little, one of the best things to do is to start cashing out, okay? And there's no shame off, you know, selling point by point, right? So let's say your average was 275. You really believe in the company, okay? And so let's say 275. I believe currently it's trading 293 in the aftermarket. What you can do is you can start cashing out a little, and from there on, you can basically I'm actually losing in platform, but anyway. What I'm trying to say here is you're going to start cashing out, let's say around $3 for the first point, right? You sell a third, and then you sell a $4 another third. You sell a $5 another third. Guess what? If it does, that works out, you phased out instead of holding the risk to sell all at $5 when everyone has that kind of PT, or most people have that kind of PT. So it's always to understand how to phase out. The next thing is stop limits, right? At what point do you let go? And when I'm saying let go, I'm not saying forever. I'm saying just let go to lower your average price. So you can, let's say if you sell today at 3 and opens tomorrow at 2 and it stabilizes at 2, why don't you just buy it again? And you know what? You saved around 33%. And you know, you pocketed some of the profit, and then you bought at a cheaper cost, and you still believe in it, and you keep it on forever. That's kind of my perspective on these kind of trades. It's your decision, and you have all the information to make an educated decision. What do you think about this sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.